Hello, my lovely students. I am your English teacher Erhan Koşar. Today we will study about type 0, type 1 and also type 2 conditional. Yes, now let's start to the lesson. Yes, we'll start with type 0 type to the conditionals. Yes, we use zero conditional for what? For scientific laws, rules, facts, instructions, habits, and routines. Now let's start with the first one, scientific laws. It says that as an example, if you heat ice, it melts. For rules, if the traffic light is green, people must go on. As a fact, if you mix yellow and red, you make orange. As an instruction, if you push the button, it turns on. As a habit and routines, if it's sunny, I ride my bike to work. These are the steps, these are the parts that we use zero conditional. As you see from the examples, conditional sentences have two clauses. One is the condition part and the other one is the result part. If it rains, is the condition sentence, result is that the ground gets wet, okay? If you boil water is the condition part, it evaporates is the result part. In zero conditions, you can use if or when. As an example, if the temperature is 0 centigrades, it snows. Or you can replace it. When the temperature is 0 centigrades, it snows. Or if you mix yellow and blue, you get green. This is the if clause section. If you mix yellow and blue, and main clause is the you get green section, okay? That is the sentence, main clause sentence. The sentence can begin with an if clause or a main clause. You get green if you mix yellow and blue is another version that you can also use in the middle of the sentence. But if the sentence begins with an if clause, put a comma between the if clause and the main clause. Okay. As an example, if you start the sentence using if structure, you are supposed to use comma in the middle, okay? Because comma joins both parts. If you press the button, comma, the television turns on. If you leave the object, comma, it drops. And if the sentence begins with a main clause, do not put a comma between the main clause and the if clause, because if clause joins if itself joins the both parts. Don't forget it. The television turns on if you press the button, or it drops if you leave the object. Okay. If clauses type 1. Yes. We use type 1 for what? For possible future condition and its probable results. As an example, if it rains, I will stay at home. If it's sunny, I'll meet with my friends. Or if I go to market, I'll buy what you want. If he calls, you should go. If my mom helps me, I might finish my homework. These are the examples for if clause type 1 over. We understand from the examples that type 1 is used to express a possibility in the future. That means it's not certain that it will happen, but it's possible. To make promises or warning, we used also type 1. As an example, if you forget my birthday, I will never talk to you. This is an example for what? For promise or warning. We use this type when we are talking about real and possible situations in the future. And also there's if clause part, there's main clause part. If clause, generally we use simple present tense. Here, for the main clause, we generally use what? Future tense, can, may, should, might. Okay, modal verbs. If the teacher has time, he or she should repeat the subject. Okay, this is an example for the type 1. Now here, there is some exercises, 4 exercises that we will fill in the blanks with the correct forms of the words in brackets. Use simple present or will feature for type 1. Now let's start. My father. Yes, here is if part. If clause comes here, it means that my father will get what if he what forgets. Here is the simple present, here is the future form. Don't forget it, okay? Will if he forgets to take his umbrella. Number 2, here. The Eiffel Tower, if, okay, after if you are supposed to use what? Simple present form. You know that here should be what? Future form. We will see the Eiffel Tower if we go to Paris. That's so easy. And also 3, if you hear this part, if you don't feel well, okay, here is the question form. Be careful. Will you go to the doctor? And lastly, number 4, will you sell your car if you buy a new one? Yes, everybody. These are the examples for type 1 in English. Now, unless. What's unless? Let's study. Unless is used in negative conditionals, and also unless is used instead of what? Instead of if not. When unless comes before the main clause, we use again a comma. As an example, let's read the examples. If you don't stop eating ice cream, you will be sick. Or you will be sick unless you stop eating ice cream. Number 2, we will go to the dentist. If it doesn't rain, we will go to the dentist unless it rains. Or 3, you feel cold if you do not wear a coat. Or you feel cold unless you wear a coat. Number 4, if you don't hurry up, you'll miss the bus. Unless you hurry up, you'll miss the bus. As a warning, everybody, here, we don't use unless and if together. As an example, we'll go to the coast unless or if you can't, it's not possible for us to use them at the same time, okay? We will go to the coast unless it rains. That's the right one. Typical errors, be careful, unless. We don't use unless when we mean if. Example, Alex will drive if Tom can't. Not Alex will drive unless Tom can't. We don't use will or would in the clause after unless. Unless you pay now, we can't give a ticket. Okay, now unless you will pay, you can't use that. If clause type 2, second conditional, what is that one? Yes, second condition. Where do we use second conditions in English? Second condition is used to describe hypothetical, present, and future situations. Hypothetical means untrue at the moment, impossible or very unlikely. Okay. If I had money, I would buy a car. This is a hypothetical situation because he doesn't have money. Okay. If I had your phone number, I would call you. This is a hypothetical situation because I don't have your phone number. Notes for type 2. The sentence can begin with an if clause or a main clause. If the sentence begins with an if clause, put a comma between the if clause and the main clause. That's the first rule. The second rule is, if you want, we can use modals in both, if clause and main clause, or you can use modals only in one part. If I could speak English well, I would look for a job in foreign companies. Or, if I understood what the teacher said, I could tell you. As you see here, there are two modals here. One tense form and the other part is with modal. In if clauses type, we usually use were, which is past form of to be instead of was, although the pronoun I, he, she, and also it. Yes, if I were you, I wouldn't do that. If it weren't snowy, we would go out. Okay. And For the last page, type 2 examples. Let's read all these ones. If I were you, I want to be a doctor. 2. If she were not ill, she would go to the school. 3. If I were a rich man, I would buy an expensive car. In fact, are you a rich man? No, I'm a poor man. If it didn't rain, we would go on a picnic, but it's raining. It means that if we had time, he would study for the exam, but in fact, he doesn't have time. Yes, everybody. My lovely students, up to now, we just try to analyze the if conditionals starting from type 0 to type 2. We studied type 0, type 1, and also type 2 today. See you for the next lesson. Bye bye.